for the recommendation of 3 questions.
So thank you very much, Kathy, Matt, and Kim for that presentation. We appreciate it. So I guess the summary is January 28th, $89.1 million and 3 questions. And the first question has to pass for the second question to pass, and the second question has to pass for the third question has to pass, and the first question has to pass for the third question to pass, and the first and the second have to pass. They're all contingent.
Right. Each, the second and the third are contingent on the prior question pass.
Okay.
So you can't have 1 and 3. You can't have 2 and 3. You can have 1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3.
Right, because they're ordered in terms of.
Exactly. It's hard to prioritize them, but we've essentially prioritized them.
It's like, which child do you like better?
I like them both. If they're listening, which they're not.
But really well done. And the overall tax impact is $542.
Give all 3.
Is 530?
Oh, I'm back too far.
543. Okay.
And that's an estimate.
Right. Thank you.
Watch this before drinking plant-based milks.
Oat milk latte.
Protein in oats acts almost exactly like gluten. And oats in this country.
Any questions from the board?
Oh, yeah. My first one is, and again, I just thought, when was this exactly decided? I mean, I found out last couple of weeks ago. To do the tiered sequential.
We are proposing, in other words, this is our time now at this public board meeting. We are proposing this tiered system because we understand the challenges and the tax impacts from other things such as the property, the Westminster acquisition, and as well as what the taxpayer can afford.
But just to add on to that, so I think this line of thinking followed after you, Matt, and Kim met with the demographers.
Yes. Correct.
And felt that this was the right way to pose the question. And that was just 2 weeks ago?
That was 2 weeks ago.
It was, yes, 2
Okay.
weeks ago. In light of some of the challenging September referendums across the state.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes. Just a comment.
Go ahead.
No, well, more of a comment though. I just playing devil's advocate though, but I think we've discussed, and it could take a long. In a nutshell though, we do have continued cost pressures. Given the current trends, the district may continue to face increasing costs, particularly in areas such as transportation, employees' compensation. So we have to look at the fact we might be cutting things too. I think it's just important to say that down the road, 3 years, 4 years, or even earlier, we might have to cut some classes. We might have to cut teachers. I'm just saying that I think we're in a little bind. Just from my analysis, and I've talked to other people, I think we're in a bind. And again, this is a philosophical thing. This is what you want to pass, fine, we pass it. Numbers, it's a numbers game to a lot of people. Some people are fine with bigger classes, some are not. Some are fine with aging infrastructure, some are not. But I just want, and also demographics. They've been uncannily, in my opinion, accurate so far. But I've looked at the 20 years of Princeton. I've looked at almost 40 years. I don't have all the numbers. It goes up and down and all around. We've had recessions, COVID, you name it, cohort survival method, how long kids stay. So it could happen. It might not happen as big as we see. And birth rates are, from what I understand, at an all-time low. I mean, this is, in our country, I think it's been the lowest ever. So I just, again, throwing that all into the pot when we make considerations.
I would just add that before we would ever cut staff because of budgetary constraints, there's a mechanism now where, well, first we could bring the budget to the voters. So we would, as long as I'm on the board, exhaust every opportunity that's available to us to ensure that the standard of public education in Princeton continues as it is.
I agree. At the end of the day, me personally, it's people who run the school. It's teachers, and I want to keep the staff. I just don't want to see the operating budget pressured.